Good morning. Oh, let's try that again. Good morning. That's better. Well, welcome. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Lars Zetterstrom, the Garrison Commander, I'm Colonel Mike Monson, the 86th Mission Support Group Commander here at Ramstein. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to what I know of, the first joint town hall between Team Army and Team Air Force at Ramstein Air Base. And so, yes. And so the ROE for today is we'll have some guest speakers, we have some slides, some great information, but please hold your questions until the end. We'll be taking questions at the end from the audience and also from Facebook from across the KMC. So please hold questions until the end so we can get through all the presentations today. And I'd like to introduce our three community leaders we have today. First of all, the District Superintendent, Dr. Dale McMullen. The 21st TSC Commander, Brigadier General Promotable, Andre Peggy. And the 86th Airlift Wing Commander and your host today, Brigadier General C.K. Hyde. Testing? Nothing? I'm good. Sir, over to you.
Well, I'll add my welcome to everybody today. It's great to see so many people here. A couple of things. One, we have over 40 tables set up for community organizations and support organizations throughout the KMC. So thank you to everyone who participated in this event to help get out a lot of our community information and have some personal interaction. So I think it's been a big success so far. So thank you to everyone who came to participate and all of those from our community organizations who put on a great show and, more importantly, passed out some critical information that's of importance to our community. In our military, we don't do anything that's not part of a team. That's especially true here in the KMC. So this is a big event, having not only our Army counterparts and our Air Force come together to engage with you. We look for your honest and open feedback and look forward to the exchange we have today so that we can all make the community in which we live and work a better place for all of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines and their family. Jean Peggy, over to you.
All right, thank you, General Hyde, and to General and Mrs. Hyde and Dr. McMullen. Thank you all for hosting us here today. And it's an honor for me to represent the Army. Just yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet with the Chief of Staff of the Army who's here visiting Europe this week. And we were talking about quality of life, and he asked me, is Kaiserslautern a joint base? And I said, no, technically it's not a joint base. But I used the example of today. This is the first opportunity where we have a joint town hall meeting that we may not technically be a joint base, but we are a joint organization because we work better together and we work together better every day. And it's getting better every day. So this is quite an opportunity, I think, for us to come together, collaborate, work through some tough issues, but I think the more we work together, the better results we will get in the end. So I encourage all of you to ask those tough questions at the end of the session today. We're here to serve the community, and I think we have a wonderful opportunity to improve our stature, our position, our stance, and we have a great relationship between the Army and the Air Force, and it's only because of all of you and the great work that you do. So thank you very much in advance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sirs. And we are fortunate today. We have some entertainment for you all. Bullying is a problem in our schools across the United States and even in Dodds. We have some students today that are stepping up to say no to bullying in the schools. So I'd like to introduce the Ramstein Intermediate School Principal, Mr. Stan Caldwell.
Good morning. My name's Stan Caldwell. I'm the principal at Ramstein Intermediate School, where we have 900 wonderful 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And it's a great place to be. If you're ever having a bad day, come over and join us. Because it's hard to be unhappy around such cool kids. I have to tell you that. So Miss Barber is my one of my music teachers at the school, and she has her fabulous sing-sations here today. But I want to tell you a little bit about the song that they're going to be singing for you. This is a song called Don't Laugh at Me. It's a part of the anti-bullying curriculum called Operation Respect. It actually came about, it's been recorded many times, but the singer Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary heard this song not long after the Columbine shootings, and he became involved in Operation Respect and helping to develop the curriculum. Earlier this school year, fall of 2011, one of my counselors, I have 3 full-time counselors at the school, Mrs. Mantini, she works with the 4th grade students. She asked Mrs. Barber if she would teach this song to all of the 4th graders as a part of our anti-bullying efforts at the school. Ms. Barber loved the song so much that she decided to teach it to the whole school. So this is a song that all of our students know, and I think it's a great thing for us to think about today as we're getting ready to sign this proclamation. So Ms. Barber, are we ready?
Thank you. I'm going to ask in a minute our three distinguished visitors and leaders here to sign an anti-bullying proclamation. But before they sign, let's read it. We have Kayla Berry from the 12th grade at Kaiserslautern High School and Brian Johnson from the 7th grade at Kaiserslautern Middle School to read the proclamation to you all.
Kaiserslautern Military Community Anti-Bullying Proclamation. Whereas bullying is a serious concern in our nation's schools and communicates and requires action by students, teachers, administrators, parents, and community leaders to address.
Whereas the Department of Defense Education Activity has joined forces with the U.S. Departments of Health and Human Services, Education, and Justice to empower parents and students to take a stand and lend a hand to stop bullying.
Whereas bullying negatively affects the atmosphere of school and disrupts the learning environment, student achievement suffers, and morale declines among students, teachers, administrators, and environments where bullying is tolerated.
Whereas preventing the properly addressed issues related to bullying is the responsibility of the entire community, including military and civilian leadership, students, parents, teachers, and administrators.
Therefore, the commanders, 86th Airlift Wing, and United States Army 21st Theater Sustainment Command, as well as Superintendent Kaiserslautern School District, hereby commits to
1. Work together to ensure that our schools are safe, caring, and a welcoming place for all students.
2. Take a prompt and proper action to address all allegations of bullying, whether such bullying takes place on school grounds, on our military installations, in our community, or in cyberspace.
3. Ensure full and open communication among all parties concerning any allegations of bullying regardless of location.
And 4. Embrace Dodia's Stop Bullying Now, Take a Stand, Lend a Hand program, designed to address bullying and provide resources to parents, teachers, students, administrators, and community members to use in anti-bullying campaigns.
Signed this 3rd day of April, 2012 in the Kaiserslautern Military Community.
How about another round of applause for our singing sensations? Okay, Dr. McMullen, you are next.
Thank you, Colonel Monson. I'm so pleased to be here today to talk about a topic that is very, very important as we school our children to ensure that they're ready for their world of work. In order for today's student to thrive in a competitive global environment, it's absolutely critical that he or she be able to adapt, to innovate, and to think systemically. Go into the classrooms of today and you will see our students working in teams collaboratively to solve in-depth real-world problems. Very different these classrooms are from the classrooms of yesterday, and they will only continue to change exponentially. In fact, as we further develop 21st century concepts, we will see the demise of many of our teaching and learning icons in our schools. As a matter of fact, 7 of these icons will be obsolete by the year 2020. First, traditional desks and classrooms. The 21st century does not fit nicely in rows. PC computers. Computing is mobile now, and our students are asking for laptops and iPads. Single-use spaces. Learning is everywhere. Textbooks. Print becomes digital, and those big heavy book bags will be a thing of the past. Schools that fail to use technology simply won't last. Our parents and our students won't accept schools that don't use technology. Schools that are organized by grade will give way to schools organized by need rather than age. Traditional media centers will go digital. We know how our students learn best and how they retain most, and it's not by sitting in rows listening quietly to lectures. Rather, it's by demonstrating, doing, discussing, and teaching others. Today's student demands educational models that are collaborative and that are active. In order to ensure that DODEA is providing the kinds of facilities that best supports these collaborative, personalized, active learning environments, Congress has funded DODEA for 21st century schools and designs. And here in our own KMC, we're going to have 8 of our schools that will be built over the next several years that are 21st century designs. What will these schools that are 21st century designs look like, and how will they support teaching and learning and leading for the 21st century student? Frank Simone.
Okay, we're going to see 2 slides that give us some indication of what some of these schools will look like and what rooms will look like. The key word that we're going to be hearing a lot of is flexibility. If this room that you're looking at, hopefully you can see it from where you're sitting, is a virtual science lab. And once again, as we talk about flexibility, we're going to talk about the flexibility of the furniture and the uses. We see here tables that are shaped, that are rounded, which are conducive for the discussion and working together. Teamwork is going to be crucial as we work in schools. They can also be easily separated. You see each one has a monitor on it, so you can pull them apart if we need children working in groups. We'll have these tables set because it's a lab. Children will be having virtual experiments and actual virtual dissections. We do dissect animals virtually these days. So the room can be set up also with small groups. You could have a few students working on an experiment or a dissection. You'll have teachers working with small groups in another section. You may have a couple of students online with somebody somewhere else on the other side of the world working an experiment together. So once again, it's flexibility. We go to the next slide. Here we have a running definition of what 21st century schools would be. And we have 3 parts to that. It's a flexible academic home, global resource center, and a dynamic activities commons. The top picture that we see is what we call a neighborhood. And in that neighborhood, we'll see various size rooms and configurations with movable walls. So it's set up so that if you need a large enough space, walls can be slid over. If you need to have 50, 60 students for whatever reason, whether it's a lecture, bring them together for a purpose, you can pull the walls back together. You could have small groups. There's spaces for even 3 to 4 students working with someone. In this space or neighborhood, you'd have 4 to 6 teachers and anywhere from possibly 80 to 150 students. It's a large space, which would be equivalent to about 6 classrooms with the hallway space that accommodates those 6 rooms. We're not going to see the long hallways with the room off of the hallway. They'll be grouped. As we go to the second picture, we see a global, no, same slide, the next picture down in the center, the Global Resource Center, which evolved from what we used to know as a library, which for a while became a media center as technology moved in, which now we currently call an information center. Now we're looking at it as a global resource center. As Dr. McMullen mentioned, most of our resources are going to be digital. Students will not only be collaborating with one another at the school level, chances are they'll be collaborating with someone across on the other side of the world. So it's given the opportunity to get them into virtual museums somewhere in the world, get into cities where they'll be studying and looking at them virtually. We're going to be moving into a space, once again, that can be used for more than one thing. It's not just going to be a room with only books. You'll have computer stations. You'll have books. You'll have meeting time with small groups. The next one would be the activities commons, and that's a space, a large space for gathering, and it's usually going to be in a central location so that students will be able to have lunch there, or they'll be able to have some special performances or large teaching spaces. The furniture will be more flexible than we see now, what we normally see in a lunchroom. It'll be set up more with normal tables and chairs that could have multiple uses to them. So once again, it's flexibility. It's really an exciting time that we're in, and we're excited to know that we're going to have the opportunity to invest in schools that are going to bring us through the next 50 years. So we look forward to sharing all that with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simone and Dr. McMullen. That is exciting stuff. Boy, I wish we would have had that about 30 years ago. That's pretty neat stuff. Next, I want to introduce the squadron commander for the 569th U.S. Forces Police Squadron, Lieutenant Colonel Eric Springer. The 569th is kind of a unique squadron, both in Air Force and Army terms. They patrol outside the wire, work real closely with our local Poli-Sci partners, and it's a joint endeavor with our Army folks that work in Lieutenant Colonel Springer's centers and patrol with them too. But they patrol us an area the size of essentially Rhode Island. From Pirmasens all the way up to the edge of Baumholder, and then all the way out east to Sembach. It's a huge area of responsibility that his folks are on the road 24/7, 365, trying to keep everybody safe. And with that, Lieutenant Colonel Springer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Lieutenant Colonel Springer on behalf of the 457 airmen in the 569th and our Army teammates in the 95th MP Battalion. Welcome. I'd like to spend a couple minutes this morning talking about some of the initiatives that you hopefully are seeing out in the community itself, things that we're doing to protect and serve you and your families. Next slide. In terms of child safety, there's several things we're doing here, and the one thing I want to talk about is daily walking patrols after school hours, in and around playgrounds and those kind of things, along with being visible around the schools and in the CDCs and those kind of things in the communities. Hopefully see more of that also on the way to school as your children are walking to school in the morning on base, seeing more increased physical presence of MPs and SPs on the ground walking there with them. In terms of the school safety, we've got traffic control points, and I'm specifically talking about Vogelway right now, where we've had some speed issues in the morning. Traffic control points at designated intersections there at traffic circles, along with we've got our engineer teammates to look at traffic calming measures, increased speed bumps that they're going to be putting in, along with some of the traffic signs that you see where if you're going too fast, you get the frowny face, and obviously you get the smile if you're going the right speed. School safety itself is important to us, and so these site surveys, I think, are going to help us get towards that objective of providing a safe environment for our kids that are walking to school, from the bus stop itself and from the folks that live on base walking to the schools. In terms of the bus stop safety, we're working with our host nation teammates in the Polizei to assess the bus stops themselves off base and the surrounding areas regarding the traffic and pedestrian safety in those areas, and parking enforcement there as well, and seeing where emphasis needs to be placed, a lot of times basically on the Polizei side, because that's obviously their area of operations. For us, we're also looking at those bus stops themselves on base in the surrounding areas during the high traffic times, and seeing what we can do to keep those areas safe for the children walking across the zebra stripes and those kind of things. I'd also like to point out on our best system here that we've got with our Dodge teammates. The bus driver or the security attendants in the bus itself, if there's any kind of incident, can activate this BEST system, and it will enunciate at my control center, and we'll obviously be able to see GPS-wise where that bus is and what's going on there, and be able to dispatch patrol immediately to that scene. So that's a pretty seamless system that we've got, and it helps us obviously respond to incidents that happen on those buses. Next slide, please. I don't want to alarm anybody here with throwing some of these stats up, but I also want to be a realist with you and let you know that we've had a spike in the local area to include the state. In the last 30-day period, there have been over 700 vehicle and home break-ins in the state of Rhineland-Pfalz. That includes obviously Mainz, everything over to Ludwigshafen. And in the Kaiserslautern part of that, you've had over 100 breaking and enterings. A lot of times, folks, and it's stuff as you would expect. People looking for the lights out, nobody home. No signs of human activity there, and they're looking for things that they can quickly turn into a profit. Although we have had some vehicle thefts, you're seeing less of those. You're seeing more of the Breitling watches, the jewelry, those kind of things that can be quickly flipped, and what you might see at the Hamburg flea market in a couple of weeks later. Okay? So you can help yourself in this as well by leaving the lights on, leaving the TV on, doing those kind of things that we all know about, and obviously keeping your valuables out of plain sight. And what I should point out is that we are working with the Polizei on this. We are providing them our data when we record that we had a breaking and entering somewhere, and they're doing the same, and looking where we can target our activities. So we're not trying to cover necessarily everything, especially in an area where there may not be much criminal activity. But a lot of times near the Autobahn and those kind of quick and infill and exfiltration routes that somebody can get in and out real fast and get away with something. In terms of the crime prevention awareness campaign, community-oriented policing. We're doing a lot of those targeted operations, as I described. You'll also see a lot of DARE programs right now in the schools. I know in Vogelway we've gotten the 5th grade, and the same things I believe happening over here in Ramstein as well. Those are obviously done to educate your children on stranger danger and those kind of things to make sure that they're aware of how they can protect themselves. The weather's getting warmer too, so you'll see some bike patrols out there, along with a little bit more of the McGruff the Crime Dog kind of thing, spending some time with your children, along with radio segments and pamphlets at the commissary and so on. Next slide. Ms. Mullen. Thanks.
Thanks, Eric. And next elected in. Thank you. I'm sure everybody knows we've had a little construction project over at the commissary on base Ramstein, if you haven't noticed. But today we have Miss Monique Mullen-Mings to talk about the construction update.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, everyone. Just a quick, I'd like to introduce some of my team that is here. If you all would just stand up, smile, raise your hand so they know who you are. We've got, we're missing a few. Well, okay, there they are. Anyway, can I get the next slide, please? Great. The Vogelway construction. We do have a construction going on at Vogelway. It's a joint endeavor with DECA and the Community Bank. You'll see the construction going on now. It's outside the front of the store. we have given them a part of our facility, and they have funded it. So we will have a, let's see, a full service. There it is. It's a full service bank. They will not have a night deposit, so you'll be able to at least, the organizations on base will be able to come and do their deposits during the day. So you'll be able to come into the commissary and do all your shopping and your banking at the same time. They'll be Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5. Projected grand opening is August of this year. So next slide, please. Okay, Ramstein. You see that construction going on. It's a little chaotic. We appreciate the patience with that. When it's all done, this is what this store is going to look like. It's not a brand new store, but it's going to look like one. And the price tag is the price of a brand new store. So $47 million. You are going to get 17,000 square feet added to that facility. As you come into the commissary, it's to the right. You'll see the right, as you come in, it's on the right, the construction. And that is, it'll be added produce and deli bakery. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let me see, parking space, that's a big deal, because I know that every weekend it's packed in there. So we'll have 453 parking spaces when we're done with this. We will move into the temporary structure in September, hopefully. And we hope that before Christmas and Thanksgiving, we'll have a brand new or at least renovated store for you all. Okay? That's all I have. If there's any questions? No? Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Monique. All right. PCS season is upon us. And so the question right now with the new rotator coming through Ramstein, through the terminal here, is what do we do with the pets? Sergeant Potts from the 721st Aerial Port Squadron will answer all your questions, right?
How's everybody doing today? I'm Staff Sergeant Potts. I'm with the 721st Aerial Port Squadron Passenger Terminal. And as the Colonel said, with PCS season upon us, and most of the PCS is coming out of Ramstein now, there's a lot of questions about what to do with your pets. So I'm here today to hopefully clear up some misinformation and give everybody some good info that you can use. Pet port calls are booked by SATO TMO. So when you get your orders, start looking at making your reservations. Let them know you need a pet port call request. You cannot come into the passenger terminal and say, hey, I need to book my pet on my flight. Once you've done that, you're limited to cats and dogs, so no bunnies, no guinea pigs, no iguanas, nothing like that, just cats and dogs. It's $112 per pet per 70 pounds, and that's a combined weight of pet and kennel. So 0 to 70 pounds, 112, 71 to 140 would be 224, 141 to 150 would be 336. We do not accept any pets over 150 pounds. We do offer in-cabin as well as pets below. Again, you'll need to make that distinction to TMO if you want to travel with a pet in cabin. We do have the dimensions up. Going to be traveling below, you'll need to have a hard kennel. We do not have any restrictions on what type of hard kennel you can use, whether it has snap locks, twist locks, things like that. But we do advise that if you're going to be taking a commercial flight as a follow-on, that you check with the airline you're going to be flying on, because some of them do have different restrictions. I know I flew Continental and they said no snap locks. We had to go buy a whole new kennel for one of our pets. In addition to that, we do not have with the Patriot Express flights restrictions as far as breed and weather embargoes. We handle weather situations in-house. We make a determination of when to load the pets based on that. Again, commercial airlines is a little bit different. So if you have a pet, as I do, a pet that is considered a flat-faced breed, subject to issues with heat or cold, take that into consideration when you book your flights and what airline you're going to be traveling on. My dog, as I said, is a pug. When we came out here, we didn't have any problems going back with our commercial flight. If we travel in the summer, we might. You can't have two pets in one kennel, but they have to be under 6 months, the same species, and under 20 pounds. For your kennels, pets need to be able to stand up, turn around, sit down, proper body posture, proper movements that can't be crammed in the kennel. So if your pet's too big to take in cabin, you're probably going to have to put them below. Can I get my next slide, please? Vaccinations and health certificates. This is the big one. This is where we get a lot of the misinformation. Health certificates must be completed within 10 days of travel. This is for going back to the United States. Turkey is a little different. I believe they are 15 days. Pets receiving their first rabies vaccination must be done 30 days prior to entering the U.S. So if you have a pet that it's their first vaccination, 30 days prior to travel. For going back to the U.S., if you cannot meet this requirement, you may be subject to in-home quarantine. If you're going to a place like Hawaii, Japan, they may have different requirements. So we advise you plan ahead, look ahead, and consider all of the destinations on your stop to make sure that you're meeting the requirements for each destination. Expiration dates have to be on your health certificates for your rabies vaccinations. This is one of the areas that we get into a little bit of the misinformation. If the expiration date is not on your vaccination records or your health certificate, we will accept the certificate if the vaccination was done within the last year. If it is any farther than that, again, you could be subject to in-home quarantine, but we do accept the 1-year and the 3-year vaccines. Pets under 3 months old and pets originating or located in designated rabies-free locations are not subject to these requirements. Again, once you get into the United States, if you're traveling with a pet that's under 3 months old, can't get their first rabies vaccination, you'll fill out a form when you go through customs that just says, I certify I'll keep my pet in home quarantine for X amount of days. Fill out the form, and then you'll mail it back into them so they know that you've completed it. Next slide, please. Some general pet travel tips that I like to give to people. Make sure that you walk your pet before you put them in your kennel. Bring them to us. You can attach a small bag of food, tape it to the top of your kennel just in case something happens, you get delayed, and your pet is being held that way. They can be fed and watered. One thing I know we like to do is if you take a plastic water bottle and freeze the water in it, cut holes on the outside of it, attach it to the inside of your kennel in the little dish that comes with the kennel. As it melts, your pet will be able to get water throughout the flight, but it won't make a big, huge mess. Ensure that your health certificate, your orders, and a label containing your name, your destination, and a good contact number are affixed to the kennel. We will make sure that those documents are on top of the kennel when you bring them into the terminal. We have little plastic envelopes. We'll put those on there. And if there's any other additional questions, we'll be available after the briefing at our table over in the corner. And we're also available to answer any general Space A questions. Thank you for your time.
Well done. Thank you, Sergeant Potts. Appreciate that. All right, next we have Josie Cordova and Ellen Harris to talk about child care in the KMC.
Good morning. I'm Ellen Harris, and I'm here representing Army Child, Youth, and School Services. We're in an area now where we're really growing. We're adding spaces available for working parents every day. We've just increased our spaces to 345 by adding another room for child care at our Kleber Child Development Center. We have 4 child development centers, 2 at Landstuhl and 2 at each end of the KMC, 1 out at Miesau and 1 in Kleber. We do have a projected construction. We hope within the next few years to break ground on yet another center that will provide approximately 80 more child care spaces for you. I do need to tell you that we work our waiting list daily. We do not have spaces that go vacant for a long time at all. Our Parent Central Services is constantly on top of who's moving, who's leaving, how many children are aging up and moving into the preschool room, which would open toddler spaces and whatnot. We work these lists every week, and we don't let people sit on waiting lists any longer than they absolutely have to. We have 2 school-age programs available to you. Our main center is at Landstuhl, and we have an annex out at Sembach, which is offering 150 spaces for children combined. Our youth center is at Landstuhl. We expect to break ground on a new youth center very soon. We offer a host of other activities for you. I'm sure you're all familiar with our sports and fitness program, which offers everything from team sports to fitness to health activities to getting even 2-year-olds up and moving. Our sports staff is out in our CDCs, in our youth centers, and in our school-age centers every day working with staff. Our Skies Unlimited instructional program, it's exploding. It offers everything from dance classes to 3 kinds of martial arts to singing lessons, piano lessons, German, Spanish lessons are coming up this summer, creative dramatics camp, you name it, we're going to make it happen for you. We are limited only by the number of instructors that we can find, and we will get out there and find them as quickly as we can for you. We do have a hired program for youth. Ages 15 and up are able to work with us. They can sign up for a program, and not only do we put them out in our MWR and other facilities to gain work experience and earn a stipend, but they attend classes. They learn how to handle checkbooks. They learn how to interview for jobs. So it's not just, it's a step above summer hire, and it goes on all year long too. Our EDGE program is designed to give kids a taste of all different types of things they might want to experience later. You've never gone rock climbing and you want to try it, but you're not too sure that mom's going to put out $100 for you to sign up for a class? Come to EDGE. Doesn't cost anything for the older kids. Try it out for a few weeks, and if you like it, we'll move on with it and open up a class for you. We've done EDGE classes in knitting. We've done EDGE classes as in camping. Again, as soon as we have people who are out there and willing and able to provide these activities for us, we're going to get it out there and make it available to your kids. Teen Shuttle, kids can ride from one end of the KMC to the other, and they can get the Teen Shuttle right into our program. They can also get off at various stops along the way. I purposely skipped over our outreach services, and I'm back to it now. Our Parent Central Services is our hub. We have our Parent Central Services is located on Pulaski Barracks. This is where you can come in, find out everything you need to know about Army CYS. You can sign up for programs, you can go on waiting lists, you can get information on just about anything. And you know what? If you don't have time to get down to Pulaski, we have people in the one-stop shop up at Lawnstool too. I do have to say that we are every day we're getting more and more technology oriented. You can actually do a preliminary sign up online through our WebTrack system now. Just call Parent Central, they'll talk you through it. We have a couple of really exciting upcoming things. We're going to be opening an annex, a youth center annex in Sembach. We hope to open it this fall. So those kids out there who have been going home after school to those little villages with nothing to do are now going to have something to do every day after school and longer times when school is out. We are also standing up a sports and fitness office in Sembach. Our Skies Unlimited is really expanding this summer, and we have just started a teen-only activities program only available to high school kids. So with that said, I'll turn this over to my counterpart, the Air Force.
Good morning. I'm Josie Cordova with Airmen and Family Services here at Ramstein and Vogelsee. Here I've put up just kind of a overview of what facilities we have. Right now we have 4 facilities for child development, and that's 431 spaces right now. We have ongoing construction projects, though, that are going to expand our spaces to 593. We're waiting on 1 facility to finish on Vogelsee so that we can move the children out of our brand new facility here on Ramstein, and that's going to free up 112 spaces right away. So we're really excited about that, and we're hoping in the fall that's going to open up. We also have an addition to one of our Ramstein Child Development Centers that's going to be another 40 spaces, and that's for infant toddler care. And then we also have our school-age programs. We actually have 5 facilities that consist of 3 different programs. That's Vogelsee, Capone, and Ramstein. And we're able to hold 507 children with those spaces. We also have an addition coming for our Ramstein school-age program that's going to add an additional 36 spaces, and hopefully that will be by the end of this year, we hope. We also have 2 youth centers and 2 teen centers. One of our youth centers is here on Ramstein, one on Vogelway, and our teen centers are actually located in our community centers, one on Ramstein and one on Vogelway. We also have family child care, and we license both Air Force and Army. We're always looking for providers, so we try to spread that word as much as we can that we would like to have Air Force or Army families. We have providers on Landstuhl. We have them at Ramstein, Vogelway, and we have them in the surrounding villages. So some people think that because their spouse is living off base that they can't do FCC. We can. So that's something important that we try to spread around. Right now we only have 32 homes. We're always trying to increase those homes so that we can gather as many spaces for childcare that we can. We also have our sports and fitness programs and instructional programs just like the Army. And right now we're waiting on a large instructional facility that's designated just for instructional programs to include a Olympic quality gymnastics floor, 4 rooms that will be used for everything from dance to karate, and all of our programs that we have in our youth programs. I think that's it for us. We also have the Month of the Military Child event coming up. I'll let Ellen come up and we'll share the spotlight on that one.
This is a true joint effort. It's a community effort. Always the last Saturday in April, celebrating the Month of the Military Child. You're going to see things for infants, for school-agers, for preschoolers, for teens to do. Air Force is out there. We're out there. Just about every community service I can think of is out there. Yeah.
So there'll be free food, there'll be entertainment, we'll have some of our kids, I know we have our Youth of the Year from Landstuhl is going to be singing the national anthem. Is it the national anthem? I believe so. And we're always looking for volunteers. So if anyone would like to volunteer for that event, you can see us after this. Army CYS has got information at their MWR table, and we have tables over there that you can come and find out information about all of the things we've talked about for Air Force as well. So thank you.
Thank you. And I can really think of no other better example on the benefits of working together and jointness, and with our youth programs and sports. Army, Air Force kids playing together, getting coached together by Air Force and Army dads and moms out there. It's just a great program you guys have, so thank you for working closer together without anybody having to tell you or force you to do it. Being at Ramstein and in the KMC, we're very fortunate to have a lot of big names that come through here that want to say thank you to all the military and military-connected people from, you know, whether it's Toby Keith a couple years ago or Chris Daughtry and his band here last fall. We're fortunate to have a lot of great events, but there's a lot of work that goes into that. And let me turn it over to 2 people who make that happen, Miss Jade Black and Mary Maureen Karstens. Come on up, please.
Thank you. Is this on? Okay, it is on. Good. All right. Well, yeah, I think we have a good solution here for the height, which is great because my sister is really petite as well, so I'm used to it. To start off with, I want to just give you a quick overview of some of the events we have coming up. So pull out your Blackberries and get ready to mark your calendar. We have a Military Spouses Appreciation Day coming up, and that's going to be over at Armstrong's Club. And it's not just for females, it's for males as well. We're going to be in conjunction with Larmsey Nursing. It's going to have everything that you can possibly think of, from health and wellness activities, as well as a family Zumba class that they'll be doing, a Fem Fusion class, so lots of different workout classes and different foods to try out as well, and it goes on all day. And I know from looking at the schedule recently that they even end with chocolate and margaritas, so that's always a fun thing to show up for as well. And then we also have the Summer Bazaar coming up. This is a wonderful event that is just absolutely great to go to because it is available for children and parents and family who are looking for something fun to do and looking for lots of fun shopping opportunities as well. So please make sure you head on over to Rhine Ordnance Barracks for that. Again, that's June 1st through 3rd. And then we have the Army Birthday Run. This is another huge event that will be happening, and that is coming up here June 8th. So again, like I said, mark your calendar for that. We're going to have an evening celebration in conjunction with that over at the Armstrong's Club starting at 4 p.m. That kind of rolls into an after party after everyone gets up and burns a lot of calories. So we'll provide lots of cake at the end of that to make those calories come on back. And then just a quick note that we also have so many other programs happening throughout the community, including an extravaganza that happens this Saturday. So that's over on Pulaski Barracks. So please make sure you come on over to our table over here, or if you don't have an opportunity to do that, if you're at home, check out our website, mwrgermany.com, or we love having more Facebook friends out there. So please like us on Facebook at Kaiserslautern MWR. We have lots of people dedicated to just answering Facebook questions and being a part of our community, and we just love having people able to respond back to us. So check us out on both of those sites, and we appreciate having you guys all be a part of our events.
I've been asked to stand up. Can you hear me? Maybe you can't see me. I'm Jade Black with the 86th Force Support Squadron. We have two events that we would like to highlight coming up. I think the mic went dead. Yeah? Okay. We have a Caring for People forum, and it's actually a focus group. It's going to be on the 19th of April. And we're looking for 6 different groups. We've got deployment. We have spouses. Yes? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Spouses communication, we have single airmen. We ask if you are interested in taking part in this that you visit our AFRC table over on the other side. And there are 2 ways that you can participate. There's actually a Ramstein Caring for People Forum Facebook page, and you can go in and you can input your questions onto that. And during the forums, we will actually speak about the questions that are added onto the Facebook. So we encourage you to take part in those focus groups. They help the community, and they help us understand what your needs are. So the other event, actually we're excited, it's in July. It's the 4th of July celebration. We've had it the past 3 years over at Capone, and it's been a wonderful event, and you've seen all the construction. We've been talking about a lot of the construction going on over there. So we are actually going to be bringing it back to Ramstein. And if you're familiar with the E-Club parking lot, we will be hosting it over there. And in the back, we'll do the fireworks in the ball fields. And we are looking forward to that event. So thank you very much. And like us on Facebook also to see the other events we have.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed the presentations. This concludes the formal presentation part of this, but we want to see what you all think and what's on your mind. So we open up now to questions you may have. Okay, before we get to questions on